Welcome! This is a presentation of the action plan created for Muir Woods Outreach Department and Albert J. Borough Community Center. Before we start, I would like to briefly present the two organizations that are participating in this collaboration. First, Muir Woods Outreach Department main goal is to identify audience who does not regularly visit the park and make the visitation accessible for them. In addition, they aim to bridge over cultural gaps that present obstacles in coming to the parks. Last, they wish to preserve the stories of the natural landscape by reaching out to different types of audience. Albert J. Borough Community Center main goal is to bring the community to the center and be accessible for the community's needs, such as providing space for meeting, events, promote health and recreational activities, increase cultural unity, and foster human development.
We chose to set up a collaboration between MPS and Albert J. Borough Community Center because we believe that a collaboration between these two organizations can stimulate social change. When we look at our modern society, we notice that there are a couple of social trends that can benefit from a positive change. Among these trends are declining historical and cultural literacy, the disconnection of youth from nature, a more urbanized and diverse population. There are concerns of obesity and health issues, and there's a lack of awareness of the value and accessibility to national parks. There's also a lack of diversity in people that regularly visit national parks. By engaging a diverse community to a national park organization, we hope to find a solution for some of these problems in our society, and we hope that the community at the community center in San Rafael can benefit from this collaboration, as well as that MPS can benefit from engaging a diverse community to their national park organization.
The following 4 programs are suggested programs for a successful collaboration between Albert J. Borough Community Center and the National Park Service Outreach Department. According to the National Park Service, collaborative programs will commence after January of 2015. The first program will be held at the Albert J. Borough Community Center, and it will be a marsh walk with the senior citizens of the community center. According to Steve Mason, the senior citizen group is an instrumental way of cultivating trust with the rest of the community, like their families, for example, sons, daughters, or grandchildren. The march will include a 30-minute introduction inside of the center. This introduction will be an introduction to the National Park Service, to the park rangers, and also an introduction for the park rangers to get to know the community and the seniors. The seniors will get to understand how to use field guides, binoculars, and understand ways to identify the plants in the marsh. After this introduction, the seniors and the rangers will commence to take a 1.5 to 2 hour walk around the marsh. This walk will include indigenous plant identification, community stories, coast Miwok stories, bird watching, and observing the patterns and cycles of nature to connect to Muir Woods. This walk is meant to introduce the community to the outdoors and create comfort and reflect on what might be seen at Muir Woods. Most importantly, it is meant for the National Park Service to get to know the community and understand the story that resonates in the community by encouraging the seniors to share their observations and stories. After the walk, the National Park Service will conclude the program by inviting the seniors to return with the rest of their families for a family campfire program at the Albert J. Borough Community Center. The second suggested program is a family campfire program at the Albert J. Borough Community Center. This program will be a 2-hour evening campfire program that will include relevant stories such as cultural and coast Miwok stories, traditional community songs that will be sung around the campfire, and marshmallow roasting for s'more making. There will be a s'more table that will show how to make s'mores, an information table that will include more information about the National Park Service, as well as a sign-up sheet for a future Canal District Family Day at Muir Woods. This program is meant to spark passion for the outdoors, and it's also meant to introduce the community to the National Park Service. The third suggested program is a Canal District Family Day at Muir Woods National Monument. This program will consist of a 2 to 3 hour interpretive program with a park ranger on the main trail of Muir Woods. The program will include relevant connections to their community, for example, plants discussed during the Marsh Walk, indigenous plant use by the Coast Miwok Native Tribe, stories from their community and the campfire, community observations and interpretation of their visit. The transportation will be provided by the National Park Service Outreach Department. The program will conclude with an invitation to return to the park for a fee-free day at Muir Woods for another special program with a park ranger. This program is meant to get the community outdoors to experience their park for a healthier lifestyle and to create a new outdoor story that resonates with their community. The fourth suggested program is a second visit to Muir Woods National Monument on a fee-free day at Muir Woods. It is suggested that the fourth program is conducted 2 to 3 months after the first visit to Muir Woods. This program will include special programming by National Park Service rangers. The program will be 2 to 3 hours long and will once again include interpretive, relevant connections to their community, like plants discussed during the Marsh Walk, plants used by the Coast Miwok, stories from the community, and their own observations and interpretation of their visit. The transportation to Muir Woods will be dependent on the support of the Albert J. Borrow Community Center. The intent of the fourth program, and all programs combined, is to create comfort, trust with the National Park Service, and hope for the community to one day return to Muir Woods.
There are several outcomes for this collaboration. First, it will establish trust between the community of San Rafael and the national parks. The community will feel comfortable and secure to visit the park again. And it will also establish trust between the organizations themselves. Second, we aim the program to be enjoyable, hence to spark passion for the outdoors. Third, it will educate about stewardship and the natural and cultural aspects of the park. Last, by traveling outdoors, people will develop healthy habit of exercising.
We created a timeline for the 4 programs. Due to necessary planning and preparation for the programs, it is advised that these programs start after January 2015. We think it might be a good idea to start with the Marsh Walk, and that could be done in February or March. People could then sign up for a second program, which is the campfire. This will be held a month later, perhaps in April or in May. Organizing this event a month later will give people enough time to get used to the ideas of MPS and get ready for a second program. The campfire could be in April or May because it is sunny outside. The first program in Muir Woods could then be on Migratory Bird Day in May, and the second program at Muir Woods could be on a Muir Woods fee-free day. People wouldn't have to pay for Muir Woods. Usually the Muir Woods fee-free days are on public holidays. A suggestion might be August 25th, the National Park Service birthday. Based on the programs that we created and the readings during our graduate course, as well as the thoughts that developed during this action plan, we have a few recommendations for both organizations. One of the books we had to read during our graduate course is a book by Morten Hansen, and it is about collaboration. He advises that both organizations should always feel comfortable to reach out for help if needed. For example, when there's information missing, when there's timelines that don't work, when there are miscommunications. To establish a good collaboration, it is important that both organizations feel free to discuss and share their thoughts. Another book we had to read was by Jim Collins, and he advises that both organizations try to make a distinctive impact over a long period of time, because that is a characteristic of great companies. This also matches the desire of both organizations to establish a long-term collaborative relationship. In order to do that, it will also be necessary that both organizations try to find funding to support their transportation. And we also think it would be a good idea for MPS to offer volunteer and internship positions to those members of the community that are very interested in working for MPS and in their work. We made this presentation of the collaborative programs to give both organizations a foundation for a sustainable collaborative relationship. In this presentation, we provided the tools and the direction for the collaborative programs and to make this collaboration a reality. Having in mind the reasons for collaboration that were stated at the beginning of this presentation, we have made sure that these programs and this relationship is an expression of the shared visions and passions of MPS, the LBJ Border Community Center, and our Action Plan graduate group to engage diverse communities in national parks.